Dzień dobry, and welcome to another episode of Brit in Poland. In this week's episode, we go back to Lower Silesia, and we visit the spa town of Kudowa-Zdrój, a place resplendent in natural mineral waters and healing properties, as well as some beautiful sights. We also visit the Skull Chapel, or Kaplica Czech, a place which is very sacred and adds a lot of meaning to people and definitely worth visiting. And we finish the video with a place called Wambierzyce, and this is a massive sanctuary and a place of pilgrimage for the Polish people. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy. Dzień dobry and welcome to A Brit in Poland. This channel is going to bring you everything you need to know about Poland. I am exploring the country, bringing you the history, trying to tell you about the culture and show you what it is really like to live here. So feel free to check out my other media, Instagram, Facebook, and I will share links to those in the comments. I also have a website, www.britinpoland.com, where I collate my videos for easy to view manner. Also, you are welcome to contribute to my efforts through Patronite or Patreon, and all descriptions are available below the video. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please come back for more by subscribing, liking, or commenting. Thank you very much. Do zobaczenia. So this video is shot from a day trip that we took from Wrocław, and we use this company, Polish Tours, in order to get to these sites. So I think you can get to some of them by train, but ultimately driving is going to be your best way. So here we are passing through the lovely Polish countryside on our way to our first stop. As you can see, there's a pretty nice bridge. There are a few nice bridges in this region. And yeah, I hope to capture more of those as time goes by. But let's start with the beautiful town of Kudowa-Zdrój. Now this is part of the Kłodzko county, and I'm very much looking forward to going to Kłodzko next month. It's in the valley on the border of the Table Mountains on the Bystra stream and has a population of about 9,500 people. It has actually a milder climate than the rest of the county due to its geographical position up on the mountainside. It was first mentioned in 1354 by the ethnic Czech area and originally called Lipolitov, and was owned by the Duke of Wambierzyce and Count of Kłodzko Henry I the Older, who was the son of the Hussite Czech king. In 1587, a natural mineral water spring was discovered and very much sets the tone for the town now. In 1620, it was confiscated by the Habsburg family. It would end up going to a Scottish officer, a certain Walter von Leslie, and he was involved in helping to assassinate Wallenstein and Schucker. I have no idea who they are. In the 17th century, springs of healing waters of various chemical compositions were discovered, and it was actually preferred to drink these rather than wine, according to a certain historian, Illuris. In 1636, the first wooden bathing facilities were built here. The First Silesian War between Prussia and Austria would lead this town passing to Prussia, where it was previously owned by the Czech crown, along with the whole county of Kłodzko, and it would be visited by Frederick II the Great, as he took interest in the town. In 1785, it was sold by von Leslie to Baron Michael von Stilfred Ratfonitz. He and his son would expand the springs and spa facilities. At the beginning of the 19th century, the Napoleonic Wars would close the spa until 1813, And the new owners, Zygmunt Adolf von Gotzen and his brother, would expand the castle, build a casino, a pavilion, and establish the park. It would see guests such as Johann Wolfgang Goethe, Alexander I, Frederick William III of Prussia, and Emperor Francis I of Austria, so it was a pretty high-profile place. In 1850, it was first officially described as a health resort after a scientific study of the mineral waters found here. It would be used as a military hospital during the Prussian-Austrian War, and it was known as the first cardiological resort in Germany. It was heavily damaged by floods in 1888, which required a bit of rebuilding, and connected first by railway in 1905. And around this time, it would be given its own power plant and supplied with electricity and a sewage system for the first time. During World War II, it would be used as a convalescent centre for wounded soldiers of the Wehrmacht. And after World War II, there was a bit of a territorial dispute between Poland and Czechoslovakia, and the whole region would go to Poland, I think for the first time in history from what I can see. The spa facilities would be repaired and staffed by the Polish, and the population would grow, and the textile industry would grow. And since 1962, it has hosted the Moniuszku Festival of Performing Artists, including opera singers and the like, from many countries. It's quite a cute, small place, and probably I'll end up back here because I really want to go to the Table Mountains. They're one of the natural wonders of Poland, and I think this is one of the, let's say, the natural places to hike there from. So, as well as having some beautiful parks, spas, and some rather nice buildings, it also had this really cool toy museum. And even though I dedicated a fair bit of footage to this video, I took a lot more videos in here. I was really surprised. It looked like a very small place from the outside, but it's one of those places that has the kind of TARDIS effect. So from the outside it looks small, but once you get in, there is an awful lot to see. So you have a lot of your kind of traditional Polish toys, and then it went to toys that were kind of more familiar from my youth, though I could have used a few more Transformers. It had a little video game exhibition, and the Pegasus is certainly a console that was popular in Poland. It was a lovely, very charming place. It really takes you back to your childhood, and it really gives you an insight into the sort of toys that Polish people would have played with throughout the years. Well, certainly throughout the last 100 years or so. And it was really charming. Even though we were only here for a couple of hours, it was a lovely place to visit. And as I say, I do look forward to coming back here to hopefully get to those mountains. And I'm not quite sure what the story is of these umbrellas, but they do make lovely flower planters, as you see. So we're next off to our, let's say, probably the main point of this journey, which is the Chapel of Skulls, Kaplica Czech. So, unfortunately, you cannot film or take photographs from inside the chapel. So, I've had to be rather creative, and I bought some, let's say, some postcards from a local tourist shop. Make sure you bring cash. I think this part of Poland, they prefer cash more. But to give you a little bit of background on the site, so the chapel itself was built in 1776. The formation of the chapel interior was completed in 1804. The creator of this unusual sanctuary of silence was parish priest of Cherma, Václav Tomaszek. The chapel itself consists of more than 30,000 human bones and skulls. They belong to the victims of the Silesian Wars, 1740-1742, 1744-1745. and the 7 Years' War from 1756 to 1763, and various epidemics decimating the local peoples. The chapel is the only one in Poland and one in 4 of Europe, others being in the Czech Republic, Austria, and Italy. The chapel is located near the parish church, dedicated to Saint Bartholomew. The first temple was located in this place in 1354, but it was destroyed after 1430 as a result of the Hussite Wars. Reconstructed in the 16th century, after rebuilding and building additional outbuildings, it gained the present shape in the second half of the 18th century. The oldest building, which closes the whole architectural complex, is a belfry built in 1603, and it was rebuilt for the first time in 1668 and then in the 19th century. It was when the belfry lost its round dome and got a straight roof. At the same time, the belfry got a 4-phase clock, which is still working. So this place was pretty powerful. I was with my parents, and actually when we went inside the chapel, my mum was a bit in tears when she saw, the sheer number of skulls and bones, and learned the story and the idea of all of these people dying in the wars and suffering from plague. It was quite heartbreaking. It made me think of the catacombs under Paris, which I haven't been to, but I have seen certain movies which document what you will find in there. And this gives you an indication of what you can see. I did actually write to the bishop of this particular area to see if I could get permission to film. I never got a response, but I guess not surprising. I'm just some random English YouTuber. Why would he really care about me? So these pictures don't really do it justice, but I hope they give you an indication of what you can see inside, and it is well worth the visit. It did get quite busy. There was a large tourist group there when we were there. So now we're going to Wambierzyce, and this is quite a small place as well, but one which is definitely full of character. It only has a population of about 952 people, according to Wikipedia, and it has a stream flowing through the town called Cedron, and the names of the surrounding hills refer to biblical themes, so Tador, Zion, Horeb, etc., and its symbolism refers to Jerusalem from the time of Christ's life. So Wambierzyce was most probably founded in 1253 by the Czech king Przemysl Otakar II, who brought settlers from Thuringia. Hope I pronounced that right. In 1330, the village belonged to the Hospitallers from Kłodzko, and from the end of the 14th century, for over 200 years, it became property of the von Panwitz family. From 1677, the village was owned by the wealthy Berger family from Opava and the Osterberg family, who settled in nearby Ratno. At the beginning of the 18th century, the Church of the Visitation of the Blessed Virgin Mary was built in Wambierzyce, which you can see here, with Baroque architecture, cloisters, and an oval nave with 11 chapels. The temple was built on the site of a wooden chapel from 1263, and the establishment of a Marian sanctuary in the town is related to a 12th century legend, according to which the blind Jan of Ratno regained his sight in this place, and the figure of the Mother of God was supposed to appear before his eyes. That's a pretty cool legend. Inside the temple, there is, among others, a sculpture of the Mother of God, Queen of Families, made of lime wood, dated to the 14th century. The town was already a significant centre of pilgrimage at that time. Before the World War II, the sanctuary was visited annually by 100 to 200,000 pilgrims from Silesia, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Poland. And in 1945, the town was incorporated into Poland. The first groups of Polish settlers arrived in Wambierzyce in August of that year. They were repatriates from beyond the Bug River, or Bug River, it's a weird pronunciation. So they were Highlanders and farmers, and farmers from the Kielce region. In January 1946, the town had about 2,500 Germans, including refugees from Berlin and Wrocław, and about 500 Polish. The German population was soon resettled to Germany. So the temple itself, it towers over the market square, as you see, from which 57 steps lead to it, and that has a bit of a symbolic meaning. So 9 is the number of choirs of angels, plus 33, the age of Christ at the time of the crucifixion, plus 15, the age of Mary at the time of Christ's conception. In addition, in the period from the end of the 17th to the 19th century, a Calvary was built on the initiative of Daniel von Osterberg. And we're going to be heading up to that Calvary very soon. And he was the owner of Wambierzyce at that time, with about 100 chapels and shrines and 12 gates. And since 2002, the International Festival of Ignaz Reimann has been held here, a composer of church music who was actually born in this village or town. So it's held every year. So it was one of, let's say, the holiest places I've been to, and I've been to a few holy places in Poland now. Unsurprisingly, Poland is full of holy places, but this one really stood out because it's quite a dramatic view when you have that kind of towering church up on the hill, and then on the opposite hill, this giant Calvary. And this is like something I've seen in computer games, but I don't think I've ever seen anything quite to this scale before. I've seen a couple of similar ones, but no, this is definitely like the biggest Calvary I've seen. And it was quite fun to explore. It was very quiet, I guess with such a small population. But you can see the people really take care of this town. Some lovely decor. You know, it was very clean, as you'd expect in Poland. It's like the fire station, which I'm assuming doesn't get too much action. And thanks to our guide, we got to find something which my mum really liked. And it was pretty cool. There were all these kind of like historical sort of like nativity scenes, and they're all like, I think from like the 19th century, or maybe, I don't know, because they're all kind of clockwork. So they would literally take a key and turn the key, and then you would see all of these things come to life. So it was, something very unique and something very cool. Apparently there's meant to be some museum here of like kind of outdoor equipment or something like that, but we seem to miss that one. We were only here for maybe an hour or so. But yeah, some very tired parents, but they had a very rewarding day. And we reached the end of the video now. If you've stayed, thank you very much for watching. We had a fairly long drive back to Wrocław after this. But again, like, subscribe, do zobaczenia.